What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Anthony Walker, that H, that E to the A to the D, and welcome to the most controversial and edgiest podcast you will ever hear. God damn it. Welcome to the Revolution, that is the Wrestling Matters podcast. On today's show, I'm going to be talking Raw, Smackdown, TLC, and you know what? For the first time on this show, probably won't be the last, but I'm going to talk, and this is not a knock on an Axel Mulligan, but I want to give my interpretation and my thoughts on NXT. That's right, TakeOver was this past week, the Revolution TakeOver show, and boy was it hot, let me tell you. More on that later on. But before I talk about Monday Night Raw, ladies and gentlemen, yes, it's back by popular demand. Well, it's back because I wanted to come back. Popular demand, my butt. Or maybe it is popular demand, I don't know. My pipe bombs are back, ladies and gentlemen, because before I talk about Monday Night Raw, I feel I need to pipe bomb a certain subject that is very regular on this program, on this podcast rather, the Divas division. Oh joy, oh joy, oh joy. But we're going to do it right now.
In anybody else's hands, this is a microphone. In my hands, it's a pipe bomb.
Right, pipe bomb it is. Now, WWE, what do you think? Again, why is it when I do pipe bombs on this show, on this podcast rather, it always seems to be about the Divas division, or as I've now dubbed it, the Total Divas division. I want to get onto this probably a little bit more later on as well, but I'll do this now. You bring over Charlotte. You give her a chance to come on Raw, right, to face Natalya. You face Charlotte. You know, at the end of the day, we all knew Charlotte versus Natalya on Raw. NXT Women's Champion versus the person she beat to win that title, by the way. It came in, and you were promoting a match that you was going to have on NXT's TakeOver show against Sasha Banks. You're obviously promoting her and promoting the match as well, which is fine. But she's the NXT Women's Champion, yet she jobs out to Natalya. Beautiful way to go about promoting. She should have won the match. Now, I found out about this as well. Vince, apparently there's some creative differences going along on how things should be booked between Triple H and Vince, because Triple H wanted Charlotte to go over and Vince wanted Natalya to go over. Hell, Natalya wanted to put Charlotte over because it was the right thing to do. 2, 1. Who's not the smart one out of that? Who's the odd one out? Who's the odd one out of that? Triple H and Natalya versus Vince. Who's the odd one out? Vince. You know it's ridiculous when the person's the odd one out is the frickin' chairman of the damn company, okay? At the end of the day, Charlotte should have won. Just a little promotion. This reminds me and goes back to when I did a pipe bomb on my previous podcast about Paige jobbing out to Alicia Fox when she was the Divas champion in her home country. I mean, for fuck's sake, why do WWE... I mean, if anybody's listening to this right now, tweet me at Tony_Walker on Twitter, or tweet me on the podcast website, on the podcast Twitter page as well, WM Podcast. Why, in name of God, is the fucking Divas division so frustrating? Maybe it's Kevin dipshit Dunn, or somebody's pulling the damn strings. I mean, my guess from what I've heard is probably Vince, but I mean, it's so frustrating. I mean, Vicky Earls, shout out to Vicky Earls, said this best. I feel sorry for the NXT Women's division, because they are supposed to come up to this Divas division, and at the moment, they ain't coming up to a division. They're coming up to a freaking division that's basically being run by a reality show. Total's Divas division. I mean, and I'm scared for when they come up, especially Charlotte, the future of the Divas division, by the way. She is the future. Sasha Banks is the future. Becky's the future as well. All the girls down there are the future. And they can make this Divas division great. But the thing is, there's no damn Divas division to come up to. And like Vicky said on my previous podcast, you'd be best off staying in NXT. I mean, majority of the Divas division are on Total Divas. And from what I'm gathering right now, 2, the most, Paige and AJ Lee, and I think there's a few others as well, I'm not sure. There was 5 last time I checked. 5 featuring Paige and AJ Lee. But at the moment right now, from what I'm gathering, there's 2 that can only win the Divas title. Because if you go on to Total Divas, you ain't winning the fucking title. Hell, you'd be lucky if you wrestle on Monday Night Raw. And this is not a knock on Natalya. I mean, like I said, Natalya wanted to put Charlotte over. And I've been picking vocal about Natalya on previous podcasts that I've been on, as well as this one. She should be getting friggin' championship runs and pushes and that. Because like Tyson Kidd, she's probably more talented than 90%, than about a majority of the percentage of that Divas division. Hell, maybe the NXT lot as well. I don't know. I mean, This is what frustrates me about the WWE. They've got a Divas division, and it could be so good. At the end of the day, at the rate it's going, they'll be best off killing it, which would be a shame. They'd be best off killing the Divas division. I mean, if you want, ladies and gentlemen, and whoever else is listening to this, if you want a good wrestling, if you want good Divas division or women's division, okay, go to NXT, okay? And that's not a knock on whoever's on the AJ Lees and the Pages of the world, but you'd be best off going to NXT for a good Divas division. Example, Charlotte, Sasha Banks this past week on NXT, which I'll get to later, because it was fucking epic. And that show was a 5-star show in itself. Again, more on that later. I will be talking about that later on. You know, I have a funny feeling I'll be talking about this again in the future episodes, but the Divas division right now in WWE hurts my brain. Really does. Anyway, pipe bomb end. Anyway, I'm going to go and resume. I'm going to take a time out for a minute. I'm going to shut this promo on. When I come back, I'll have the Raw review. See you after this. Be sure to follow the Wrestling Matters podcast Twitter site right now at www.twitter.com/WM podcast. Wrestling Matters, wrestling fans. Welcome back, peeps. Now we've got the pipe bomb out the way. I'll do the Raw review. That's right, the Raw review. Now, the Raw kicked off with Jerry Lawler, Michael Cole, and JBL talking about Michael Cole and JBL welcome you to Monday Night Raw. Lillian introduces Jerry Lawler on stage, and then he introduces Seth Green. Now, don't get me wrong, I'll take Seth Green over the previous two. You know, Larry the Cable Guy and Grumpy Cat. WWE, if you're gonna make guest hosts, at least make them interesting. You know? I can go on for that. I can go on about that for days. Miz music hits, and quite frankly, I could, considering the way this was going with Seth Green and Jerry Lawler, never in my life, talking and said they can vote on the WWE app and that, just boring the hell out of us, basically. Boring me to death and all that. And then Miz's music hits, and thank God Miz's music did hit. I never thought in my wildest dreams I'd be happy to see Miz and Mizdow, but I was on that occasion. And they just get into it, and then Miz and Mizdow just get into it with Seth Green and everything, and they do the nominees for This Is Awesome Moment of the Year. The nominees turned out to be $1 Billion Jailbird, Goodbye Authority, and the all-time greatest where Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock and Hogan shared the ring at WrestleMania. Michael Cole says you can vote on the app, and then the award will be done after the next match, which was Ziggler and Rollins. I mean, great match between these two, back and forth. I mean, these two could have a fucking match on the pay-per-view, man. I've said that before, and I'll say it again. But the cronies got involved, and they distracted Ziggler, and Seth Rollins got the pin. According to this, the match rating was 1 out of 2, and I know the reason why, because Jamie Noble and Joey Mercury got involved, as they always do, making Seth Rollins look like a complete doofus, look like he can't win a match on his own, which we know he can because he's a talented wrestler, but these two dipshits have to make the top heel in the company, at this moment in time at least, look like a complete fool. He doesn't need them. He needs to break away from them, but at the end of the day, Rollins won the match. And like I said, these two could have a one-on-one match on any pay-per-view. They can kick off any show. They can kick off any pay-per-view or have it as a main event on the pay-per-view, and I guarantee you it would draw a rating or draw money. Or pay-per-view buys, because that's how good these two are. Two of the best wrestlers in the company, in my opinion. The moment of the year was announced, and This Is Awesome Moment of the Year, and it was Sting's debut that won it, which was the Goodbye Authority situation. And obviously Sting wasn't there and everything, and then Seth Rollins goes up and cuts a promo on Sting, and obviously was still pissed off that the Authority lost and everything, and it went. And he accepted it on behalf of Sting. Said that he deserved it more than Sting. Whatever. The New Day makes their entrance. Kofi Kingston will face Stardust next. Speaking of that match, earlier on in the night, The Rock won Insult of the Year. Usos won Tag Team of the Year. Dean Ambrose won Breakout Star of the Year, which was, again, quite rightly so. In my opinion, he should have won Superstar of the Year, but I'm more on that later. Hashtag RKO out of nowhere won Hashtag of the Year, and You Sold Out won Fan Participation Award. Wow, that's not easy to say. And Kofi Kingston with Big E and Xavier Woods face Stardust. Now, it seems that Stardust and Goldust are going to be the first people to feud with the New Day, despite the fact I had the best news all week that Vince McMahon is on the verge of breaking up the New Day because he's already done with it. At the end of the day, just three guys. The New Day, to me, is three guys that WWE do not know what to do with. Yes, Kofi is a Intercontinental Tag Team US Champion. Big E is a Intercontinental and NXT Champion. And Xavier Woods has not been relevant since he was in TNA. I don't know where this could go, but it's a perfect way perfect two to feud with. Because in my opinion, Stardust and Goldust are the top tag team of the company, besides the Usos and that, as well as the Usos. It's neither here or there with this match. Kofi won it, hit a crossbody block after a pair of knees in the corner, and gets the win. 1, 2, 3. These two could win. These two, Goldust and Stardust, have had matches before. These two could have a match on the pay-per-view. Was this tag team interesting? Is this feud going to be interesting for the New Day? Is it a good way to start for the New Day? I think so, but time will tell how long it will last. Now, WWE Raw, we had surprise return of the year award, and Lillian Garcia had to ruin the moment a little bit, didn't you, Lillian? Because she introduced the person who was going to be presenting the award, John Laurinaitis. Oh joy! Yes, Funk Man, ladies and gentlemen, clown shoes. And I got a question on James's Wrestling Rambles podcast. Would I want to see John Laurinaitis back? No. I do not want to see John Laurinaitis back. If you're going to bring back John Laurinaitis, then bring back CM Punk so he can pipe bomb him again and mess with his head again and all that. Because that was the only reason that I actually survived seeing John Laurinaitis. CM Punk. I hated the guy. He is boring. And thank God this was just a one-thing deal. Yeah, people power. More like out-of-date power. Anyway, he says, now the Authority are gone, it's time to bring back Big Johnny. I swear, if Laurinaitis comes back, I will never watch wrestling. Nominees for surprise return of the year were Hulk Hogan, Batista, The Rock, and The Ultimate Warrior, and quite rightly so, The Ultimate Warrior won. May he rest in peace, music plays and everything, and quite rightly so, he won. Now, Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins were backstage. I don't know what the hell was going on. Maybe people saw it trying to have a go at Cena and all that. And at the end of the day, I saw Paul Heyman as well as talking about Cena. Yes, granted, he did talk about Cena, but he was more getting into the head of Seth Rollins. Because should Seth Rollins win the match won the match at TLC, whether he did or he didn't, you guys know if you watch the pay-per-view. I'll do my review on that next week. Because let's face it, Brock Lesnar still has a bone to pick with Seth Rollins, because last time Brock Lesnar and Seth Rollins were in the same ring together, Seth Rollins took it upon himself to curb stomp Brock Lesnar. So should Seth Rollins have won in the match at TLC, like I say, you guys know if you watch the pay-per-view, what would happen after that? Would Seth Rollins have won? Would Seth Rollins be the next victim for Brock Lesnar? Who knows? But let's face it, we all know Seth Rollins. I don't see him cashing in anytime soon. Maybe at WrestleMania, I don't know, but I don't see him cashing anytime soon, because when a certain Viper returns, the plan is for Orton and Seth Rollins to have the feud. Left off from what happened when Orton got curb stomped through some cinder blocks. Or was it steel stairs? Anyway, back when the Authority basically whooped his ass before Survivor Series. Basically, it was just him and trying to do his own mind games, and in a way, it kind of worked, because it did get Rollins thinking. Like I say, but you guys know what happened at the TLCS pay-per-view, if you will. I still call it TLC, and I'm sticking to that. Anyway, Charlotte, the NXT Women's Champion, makes her way to the ringside for the match with her and Natalya, which was basically a promotion match for her. Like I said earlier on in the Pipe Bomb, which was a promotion match for her going into a match with Sasha Banks at NXT TakeOver. More on NXT later on in the program, in the podcast. I already said what I wanted to say. Charlotte got in Natalya's face with a woo, just like her dad. But I already said what I wanted to say about this match earlier on in the Pipe Bomb. Just bullshit, rather. And according to what I'm reading here, guys, it says match rating 1 out of 2. Should be 0 out of 2, quite frankly. But it just made no sense whatsoever having Natalya win. Like I said what I said earlier on in podcast on that Pipe Bomb. But the thing that gets me, Tyson Kidd jumped up in front of Natalya as she celebrates and tries to hug all the glory. What's this thing with Tyson and Natalya? Natalya goes and wins all the matches and she celebrates him, but at the end of the day, Tyson takes all the credit. This makes no sense. I don't know what the hell's going on with these two, but feud-wise or whatever it is, wise the WWE trying to do, but it just makes no sense. So Tina Morella came out to introduce or to present OMG Shocking Moment of the Year award. Makes his own jokes about Luke Harper taking a shower and all that, does his own routine, and announces the nominees. The nominees were Seth Sells Out, Bella Betrayal, which was Nikki turning on Bray at SummerSlam, The Whole World in His Hands, which was the Bray Wyatt and John Cena thing. I'm guessing it was Extreme Rules, if I remember correctly. The Cage fiasco, that shocked me. And the streak getting conquered by the WWE Heavyweight Champion of the World, Brock Lesnar. They announced the winner after the break. They announced the winner after that John Cena would be facing Big Show in the main event. Big Show to get his chance, John Cena rather, to get his chance at the Big Show for what happened at Survivor Series. And then they announced that this streak conquered was the winner. And quite rightly so, because I believe the first words that came out of my mouth when Brock pinned Undertaker were, holy motherfucking shit. Shout out to my boys at Sunday Segway, because I was on the Sunday Segway podcast. If you haven't heard that WrestleMania episode, go and find it. It's on. Go and check out Sunday Segway on Podomatic, Stitcher Radio, YouTube and that. Or hell, go on to tweet Kenny at Sunday Segway on Twitter. Go find them. Go and listen to it. It was a mega banger show. He did a live show or recorded the show during the WrestleMania. I'm on during the Brock Lesnar and Undertaker match. And I say them famous words, holy motherfucking shit. Okay, so go and check it out if you haven't heard it, because it was a good show. Now, obviously, Paul Heyman accepts the music, comes out the Brock Lesnar's music, and accepts it on behalf of Brock, and rants and raves about the fact that he earned the distinction to say that Undertaker's undefeated streak was conquered by my client, Brock Lesnar. Heyman walks off. Same old Heyman. Bray Wyatt talks about his match with TLC. Now, he does his promos. I mean, this guy's so good at promos, it's unbelievable. And then, as he was delivering the promo, and doing his promo and doing his thing, Dean Ambrose music hits, and for some strange reason he pops out of an ambulance. What the hell he was doing in that ambulance, I do not know. The smoke coming out of there. I mean, was he doing drugs or something? Smoking weed or some shit? I don't know. But he came to the ring looking for a fight. He got one. And a fight broke out between him and Bray Wyatt. And then he tells him to take a good look at the ambulance. The only way Wyatt will leave TLC this Sunday is on the back of one of those when it's tables, ladders, and chairs and stairs. Wyatt will know exactly who he's in the ring with this Sunday at the TLC pay-per-view. Ambrose will become the monster, and he is going to eat Wyatt alive. Wyatt went back up the ramp laughing, and Ambrose was Ambrose. Seth Green is at the podium and says what just happened was pretty awesome. Green says it is time to return the favour and introduce the man who introduced him earlier on in the night. He presented the Diva of the Year Slammy Award, Jerry Lawler. Tells Seth Green to stick around for this. Lawler says this is his favourite award of the night. Obviously, puppies. Those four remarkable divas have gone above and beyond, dazzling us inside and outside the ring, yada yada yada. The nominees were Diva of the Year, Brie Bella, Paige, Nikki Bella, and AJ Lee. And obviously, AJ Lee, quite rightly so, won the award. And apparently she says she ain't done yet. We'll have to wait and see. Renee Young was backstage with John Cena. John Cena talking about his match at TLC with Seth Rollins and his match with Big Show later on in the evening. I didn't take any notice. I'll be honest with you guys. I didn't take any notice of John Cena during this interview. Sorry, John, but I was too busy looking at Renee Young. Renee Young looked awesome in that outfit. She is smoking hot, and she was smoking hot there, and oh my freaking God, Dean Ambrose, you are one lucky motherfucker. There you heard it. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen, because she was hot. Eric Rowan, however, makes his way to the ring, and he'll face his former tag team partner, Luke Harper. And Luke Harper came into the ring with his Intercontinental belt in one hand and a ladder in the other. Now, I don't mind seeing this match, because I wanted to see this match myself, but this match was ruined. This should have been, the match rating 3 out of 4. This match for me should have been 2 because it wasn't the kind of match that I wanted to see. God willing, WWE make a feud out of this, do something with this, because I wanted to see this match, don't get me wrong, I just didn't want to see it on Raw. And evidence tells me, winner by disqualification, Eric Rowan. I didn't want to see a disqualification. Basically, it was just a warm-up match for Luke Harper to go into his match with Ziggler. That's what it was. I didn't want to see this match like this. I didn't want to see it was just boring. It was just a match for me. It could have been, it was a good match, okay for what it was, but it wasn't, I mean, I hope that these two have a feud after TLC or at some point and get into a big match on a pay-per-view, whether it's for a championship or not, highly doubt it from what I'm hearing, from what I've heard. But I just didn't want to see this match on Raw. I mean, it was poor. Really, 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 really poor. I just wanted to see this. I mean, this match could have been better for me. It was just a poor match. An average match, I'll say that. But hopefully WWE will make this into a pay-per-view and make this into a program so they can have a big pay-per-view match. Because this match will draw money. Luke Harper and Eric Rowan on a pay-per-view. It will draw. I believe, anyway. Naomi was backstage when the Usos came up holding their Slammy Awards. She hugs them and congratulates them, and Jay walks off. Says it's the second best thing to happen this year. First was marrying her. Naomi says she heard from Mrs. Agent. Jamie doesn't like that. Naomi says she doesn't care for the Miz, but she had a good conversation with his agent, and he was legit. Jimmy says he was probably full of crap. He says she couldn't have been taken to Damien Mizdow for all she knew. Naomi says she is going for a screen test later this week. Jimmy asks if she's really going to Hollywood, and she says she is. Jimmy says if she's going to Hollywood, then he's going as well. Jimmy doesn't trust the Miz. Naomi wonders if he trusts her. Jimmy says they are on their game and the Miz is playing mind games. Naomi says she is on her game as well before walking off. Now, Dipshit and his bunny came out. That's right, Adam Rose and his bunny came out to present LOL Moment of the Year. I'm not even going to talk about Adam Rose. Anyway, the nominees were Mr. T Loves His Mama, WLC, The Stunt Double, and The Princess Pudding, which was Vicky throwing Stephanie into the pudding. And to the Stunt Double would win. Obviously. Earlier today, the Faction of the Year went to The Shield, naturally. Rivalry of the Year went to Daniel Bryan and The Authority. Raw Guest Star of the Year went to Hugh Jackman. I would go with that. Best Twitter handle went to Ziggler. Best Couple of the Year went to Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella. Again, understandably so. Adam Rose and the Bunny struggled over the envelope before Rose announces the Miz and Mizdow as winners. Miz just rambled on about his money maker, which is his face, and his blah blah blah. And Mizdow mimicked him next to him, which was... I've said what I need to say about this tag team. Rusev and Lana talk about facing Jack Swagger at the pay-per-view. Rusev makes his way to the ringside. He'll defend the United States Championship against Jack Swagger at TLC. Lana says the real LOL moment of the year could be the American Academy or President Obama. The USA chant breaks out as she orders the crowd to shut up. Lana says their personal favourite is the Real Americans. That is a laugh out loud moment of the year. Swagger comes out, runs down to ringside, says he plans to break Rusev's ankle for what he did to Seb. Apparently they broke Seb's leg. Swagger comes out and says he's going to break Rusev's ankle, comes down, fight ensues, and to be honest with you, Swagger nearly backed up what he said, because he got Rusev in the ankle lock, the Patriot lock, whatever you want to call it, and didn't seem to nearly let go. He could have had it on for a good at least 5-10 minutes before the referees and the officials come out to break it up. Again, promotion of the main event. Cena will face Big Show, and then Ryback will team with the Usos to face Kane and Miz and Mizdow. A warm-up match for TLC. New Day will face Goldust and Stardust on the kickoff show this Sunday. And just put that in the pay-per-view. Seth Rollins comes to commentary with the Usos and Ryback faced Kane, Miz, and Mizdow. Now, I don't mind this match. This was just a near match. You know, this was a promotional match for TLC because Ryback facing Kane, Usos versus Miz and Mizdow for the tag belts. Okay, don't get me wrong, it was a good match. From what it was, good 6-man. I liked it. The only thing I hated about the match was Kane in that stupid corporate outfit. I am so done with him. He hits a suplex and Miz flips himself over. Mizdow flips himself over. Jay then throws Miz out over the top rope, and Mizdow throws himself over the top for good measure. You know. I mean, this mimicking thing now is so done. You know, just let it be. You know, split these two guys up. Hopefully these two will go into something at the Royal Rumble, and you know, hopefully at the Royal Rumble, and then go into like a feud or something and break up after that. And hopefully they'll build it in, because like I said, what they need to do is take this momentum that Mizdow's got and run with it. Because let's face it, 6 months ago we were talking about Mizdow. We were talking about Mizdow going into unemployment terms on the unemployment roster. Now he's earned his way back on the roster. He just needs to take this thing and run with it. That's what WWE need to do. But this is WWE we're talking about. Ryback hits Shell Shocked to get the victory. Now, Seth Green gets in the ring and tries to raise Ryback's arm, but apparently it's too heavy. The Usos then put Seth Green on their shoulders, and Ryback does his chant, "Feed me more" chants, and Green celebrates with the Usos and Ryback. Highlights of 1986's Slammy Awards in Baltimore, Maryland are shown. Okay. Ricky Steamboat comes out for the match of the year, which was fucking bullshit. The nominees for this match were Daniel Bryan versus Orton versus Batista at WrestleMania, Cena versus Bray Wyatt in a last man standing match at Payback, Evolution versus The Shield at Extreme Rules pay-per-view, and Team Cena versus Team Authority at Survivor Series. And Team Cena and Team Authority won the match. Team Cena and Team Authority Survivor Series match 1, which was fucking crap. Why didn't Bray Wyatt and Daniel Bryan get a mention? You know, Shield versus Evolution. What about the Shield versus Wyatt? But you do a match that happened at Survivor Series. Why? Because Sting got involved? You know, it makes no sense. You know, it makes no sense. You give that. I mean, that's my only logic about it, because Sting got involved. It wasn't the match of the year. You know, Bray Wyatt, Daniel Bryan at Royal Rumble. That kicked off the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. That was a match of the year candidate. Wyatt versus the Shield, match of the year. Shield versus Evolution, match of the year. All the matches were, to be honest with you, especially the Extreme Rules one. You know, hell, John Cena and Bray Wyatt, last man standing. That was a good match of the year. Don't know about the Daniel Bryan, Randy Orton and Batista one. I would probably say Daniel Bryan and Triple H was a better one. But Team Cena and Team Authority, all shit. Sorry. Ziggler came out to accept the award and shook hands with Ricky Steamboat. I think it was safe to say if Sting had been there, he would have passed it on to Sting, basically. He wouldn't have accepted the award himself. He just said, "Here, there you go, Sting. That's your award, pal. You made that happen." Anyway, moving on. AJ Lee versus Summer Rae, which was a warm-up for her TLC again. AJ won by submission with a Black Widow submission move. 1 out of 2 of the match, but at the end of the day, this was just I didn't really care about this match. No one cared about this match, because it was just Summer Rae jobbing out to AJ Lee. That's all it was. Just a nothing match. Rob Van Dam came out to introduce the most extreme moment of the year. The nominees were Brock Lesnar giving 16 German suplexes to John Cena at SummerSlam. Basically the John Cena beatdown. Kane giving Daniel Bryan 3 tombstones outside the ring. Chris Jericho hitting Bray Wyatt with a crossbody, the same crossbody from the top of the cage during their cage match that injured Chris Jericho. Look back on it, he's holding his leg after it. That's what basically cost him the match. And Seth Rollins hitting Dean Ambrose with the cinder blocks. You know, curb stomping him through the cinder block. And Chris Jericho's moment won it. Again, like I say, credit Chris, but credit to you for jumping off, but it was the same one that injured your leg. It injured your leg. I mean, oh, God damn it, I tell you. Laugh out, extreme moment. I mean, that could have won Laugh Out Loud moment of the year, to be honest with you. Extreme moment of the year. It's the one, and it's the same one that done his leg in. Quite frankly, it's the same one that cost him the match. I mean, credit to him for doing it, but, Fandango comes out to accept the award with Rosa Mendez. Fandango takes the slammy as the crowd boos him. Says in the debut match at WrestleMania he'd beat Chris Jericho, yada yada yada. Mick and his daughter, dressed as Santa Claus, by the way, and an elf, are back to promote some WWE merchandise. This was really cute segment. Yeah, I said it. That's what I'm reading here. It was segment, but hey, it's Mick Foley in it. Bang bang! A replay came of Big Show knocking out Cena at Survivor Series, and then Thingy pinning him to eliminate him, and then Renee Young's backstage talking with Big Show, and then she talks about the match between Cena later on, and talks about his match with Eric Rowan at the pay-per-view in a first ever Steel Stairs match, and first ever Steel Stairs match will probably be the last. Big Show says he's focused and very angry. The only mistakes that are happening are John Cena and Eric Rowan stepping in the ring with him. Anyway, commercial break. Earlier in the evening, Double Cross of the Year went to Seth Rollins, turning on the Shield. Animal of the Year went to the Bunny. Need I say more? Best Actor went to The Rock. NXT Superstar of the Year went to Sami Zayn. And Anti-Gravity Moment of the Year went to Seth Rollins diving from the balcony against Evolution. So basically, mopped the floor. Seth Rollins mopped the floor with the Snammies, so to speak. Booker T came out to present Superstar of the Year, which the nominees were Brock Lesnar, Dean Ambrose, Daniel Bryan, Roman Reigns, Bray Wyatt, Seth Rollins, and John Cena. Roman Reigns won it. Now, nothing against Roman Reigns. He has made an impact. You know, he's had some great matches in the year, like the match he had at SummerSlam with Randy Orton, which made him, quite frankly, as far as his single career goes at least. But he hasn't done much. He's been injured for most of the year. And don't get me wrong, he's due back. I felt that this award should have went to Dean Ambrose. Yes, Daniel Bryan won. You know, Daniel Bryan won the main event match at WrestleMania and did what he did at WrestleMania, yada yada yada, and then he got injured. Bray Wyatt, I don't care, yeah, but was a caliber for Superstar of the Year. Could have been a case for him, but no. Seth Rollins, top heel in the company. Could have been a case for him. John Cena, I think the people are sick of John Cena winning the damn award, to be honest. But the breakout star of the year should have been Superstar of the Year as well. Or Superstar of the Year should have been Superstar of the Year as well. Because Dean Ambrose has had a phenomenal year. You know, his matches with Rollins, his match that he's having with Bray Wyatt as well, his feud with Bray Wyatt and that, and his impact that he's made since leaving the Shield and turning into this lunatic fringe. I would have given it to Dean Ambrose. Like I said, nothing against Roman Reigns, but I think WWE melting Roman Reigns into what they want to be, because there's all this rumours about Reigns winning the title next year at WrestleMania and that. Future of the WWE, Steve Austin has said it, and many others have said it, is Dean Ambrose. Sorry, Roman, Dean Ambrose is where you want to go, and WWE would be stupid to not realise that. They announced tonight's Raw that Chris Jericho will be guest hosting. Now, I'm down for that. Anything is better than that stupid computer. And don't get me wrong, and Roman Reigns did make his way to, and did receive the award, make his way to the and got a good reception in that. And John Cena made his way to the ring for the main event with a Big Show. Cena hits some shoulder blocks, but Big Show doesn't go down. I think he was trying to do his 5 moves of doom. Cena then hits a back suplex and does the 5-knuckle shuffle. But Big Show grabs him by the throat. Cena gets out of the chokeslam before hitting the AA. Seth Rollins, again, disqualification match. Match rating, 1 star. Because Seth Rollins and J&J Cruiserweight Division Security got involved. It was just ridiculous. The crowd brewed in frustration as the triple team went on, which was quite rightly so. You know, Ryback came down, Ziggler came down. Oh, hell broke loose, basically. And J&J Security cleared the commentary position, and Rollins and J&J Security then gave a triple powerbomb, Shield-like, it was a Shield powerbomb, to John Cena and put him through the table. Oh my god. Can't wait to see what happens on Raw this week. Oh, tonight, in fact. Don't get me wrong. And my rating, I just hope Raw improves tonight. That's all I'm saying, because 5 out of 5 was my rating for this, and that's 2 shows back-to-back. 5 out of 5. You know, I mean, the Raw after Survivor Series got an 8 because it was fun. It was exciting. Well, at least I thought. I mean, I enjoyed it when Daniel Bryan was guest host. Then What a Caller came back. Seth Green was guest host. 5 out of 5. Computer last week. 5 out of 5. Yawn. I really do hope that it improves tonight, Raw, because it needs to improve. 2 shows that I've given that I've not liked. 2 shows back to back. there's something wrong, WWE, and it needs to improve, and improve quick. Hopefully, because tonight's a fallout from TLC, or TLCS, as it was known, so hopefully this will be a good show tonight, because, like I said, the fallout from Survivor Series was good, so let's hope tonight's fallout is good also. Anyway, that's the end of the Raw review, and I'll be back after this. Ladies and gents, boys and girls, children of all ages, and whoever else is listening to this podcast, I'll be back with the Smackdown main points. So, stay tuned. If you like the Wrestling Matters podcast, why not check out the Wrestling Matters podcast Facebook fan page at www.facebook.com/WM podcast. Wrestling Matters, wrestling fans.
Be sure to listen to the Sunday Segway Wrestling Podcast.
What?
Every Sunday with Kenny Killer and the Galdem Sugar Shubs.
Yes!
With all the news, views, and laughter that you want.
They like jet airplanes. Woo! They like long limousines.
Every Sunday, the Sunday Segway Wrestling Podcast on Podomatic, iTunes, and YouTube.
So why don't you choke on that, slapnut?
Welcome back, everyone, to the Wrestling Matters podcast, and without further ado, let's get into the Smackdown main points. Before 15-time world champion John Cena could properly kick off Smackdown, Seth Rollins interrupted, making it clear to his tables match opponent that his time was up, while the future of the WWE time was in fact now. A war of words began Smackdown between the two, and trust me, this did get settled at TLC. Usos. The recent weeks' tensions have been extremely high between the tag team champions Miz and Mizdow and their number one contenders, the Usos. Over Miz's recent interactions with Jimmy's wife Naomi, in the shadow of that turmoil, the Samoan Warriors earned a hard-fought victory over Cesaro and Tyson Kidd. While the win was impressive, perhaps the more notable moment came when Miz and this stunt double made an early departure from the announce table to speak with Naomi about an apparent negative phone call from their A-list agent, and I can guarantee you Jimmy was not very pleased. With Stardust standing at ringside on SmackDown's announce table, the muscle of the New Day, Big E Langston, overcame Goldust with the big ending. And will that be the fate, or was that the fate, of Goldust and Stardust at the TLC kickoff show? After being left in a pile of destruction on Raw, Dolph Ziggler, Ryback, and Eric Rowan fired back at their TLC opponents in a six-man tag on SmackDown's main event. As chaos completely broke down in the match's final moments, Ryback ultimately reigned supreme over Luke Harper with a shell-shocked, but the action was just getting started. In a post-match free-for-all, Ziggler and Rowan cleared house with a ladder battering ram as the big guy blasted his prey with a steel chair. The show-off then leaped onto the three of their adversaries from the top of the ladder outside the ring floor, setting up what was indeed probably a hell of a night at TLC. But only you guys know that. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of the SmackDown main points, and I'm going to take a little quick commercial, but when I come back, I will talk about a possible opponent for The Undertaker at WrestleMania being Bray Wyatt. I will talk about a whole lot more, a few more other things, but mainly I will talk about NXT TakeOver, a 5-star show. So, stay tuned. See you in a bit. Be sure to listen to the Wrestling Matters podcast each and every Monday, only on Mixcloud, iTunes, Stitcher Radio, YouTube, Podomatic, and SoundCloud. Wrestling Matters, wrestling fans. We talk about Monday Night Raw, we shoot the breeze, we pipe bomb, and we tell it like it is. Tune in each and every Monday for the Wrestling Matters podcast, where wrestling matters. Welcome back to the final part of the Wrestling Matters podcast. My name is Anthony Wilk, as you will know. Before I get into what I want to talk about, Naomi confirms the rumors on Total Divas that she is no longer a part of Total Divas, that her and Summer Rae will be leaving Total Divas cast. So, that being said, does that make her eligible for a championship? Does that make Summer Rae eligible for a championship? Because it's, like I said earlier on, it's clear to know if you're on the Total Divas cast, you're not getting a championship. You're not getting the Divas title. So, I guess we'll wait and see, but Naomi and Summer Rae are no longer a part of the Total Divas cast, and as far as I'm concerned to them, that is a blessing. Now, also, like I said earlier on, Undertaker, there's rumours flying around that a possible Undertaker match at WrestleMania, and the thing is, it doesn't involve him and Sting. It involves him and Bray Wyatt. Now, I don't mind saying that, because the possibility is that they're building towards Sting versus Triple H. So if that's the case, and that leaves Bray Wyatt going against the Undertaker, and that leaves the door open for Sting, people don't want to see that. They want to see Sting and Undertaker. The question is, at the end of the day, can the Undertaker go? Is he going to be fit enough? Is he going to be, is he in the condition to go at WrestleMania? I mean, was last year's WrestleMania with Brock Lesnar his last? Also, there's rumours, and it seems pretty dead on from what I know, but rumours going around that he's going to be in the Hall of Fame in 2015, despite the fact that there was all these rumours and statements about him going to Texas, to be in the Texas one, because WrestleMania 32 is going to be in Texas. So, it's an interesting debate. But we'll have to wait and see how it goes. But that's the rumours circulating. I mean, I wouldn't be disappointed if we saw a Bray Wyatt versus Undertaker match. It'll be good. Mike Tenay has reportedly agreed to his new 1-year deal that will see him stay on TV, but no longer be the lead announcer. As noted, Josh Matthews will be replacing him. I find that very strange that they go with Josh Matthews instead of Mike Tenay, but anyway, maybe it's time for Tenay to call it a day, I don't know. On a related note, Jim Ross recently contacted TNA's staff member and possibly Dixie Carter to pitch the idea of Tenay calling the big New Japan Pro Wrestling Tokyo Dome event that is co-branded with Jeff's Global Force Wrestling. Ross pitched that TNA would be plugged during the show in exchange for allowing Tenay to work, but the idea was turned down. So we'll have to wait and see who's going to be the guy. And by the way, this coming week on Jim Ross's podcast, Jeff Jarrett's on the show, and apparently they're going to announce who's going to be calling the big event with Jim Ross. So tune in for that. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to talk about what everybody seems to be talking about in the wrestling world from last week, and that is NXT. Now, I mean, I've seen the show, and I'm going to tell you this right now. If you haven't seen NXT's Revolution show from last week, go and find it. Go and search it. Watch it on the internet, online, whatever. It was on yesterday on Sky Sports in the UK, but seriously, go and watch it. Go and find it. Download it. It'll be on YouTube somewhere. I don't care. You need to see it. You seriously need to see it. I'll go through some of the stuff. Kevin Owens made his debut on the show, defeating CJ Parker. Now, don't get me wrong, CJ Parker did very well in this match and rocked Kevin on occasions, but Kevin Steen, to many people, is flat out destroyed him. He drew blood from Owens' nose, CJ Parker, but it wasn't enough, and he just demolished him, Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens just demolished CJ Parker, and he even demolished him with an insane pub handle into a knee strike and then a powerbomb. And a powerbomb to put the NXT's Moonchild away, which was, I mean, it was just a great way to start the show, basically. Watch a Kevin Owens beat down, so to speak, which was phenomenal. The other match after that was the tag team champions of NXT, the Lucha Dragons, defeating the Ford Villains. I like what they've done with this match. I mean, this match was 5 stars all around. Great tag team match. Fast-paced tag team match with the Lucha Dragons, and that was a great tag match for what it was. I like what they've done with the Lucha Dragons, to be honest with you. I like the fact they've actually given Sin Cara something to blooming do, for crying out loud. Instead of getting all these botches and everything, oh yeah, we'll just stick it with this guy and then we'll make a tag team out of it. And they're actually a really good tag team. And I could see them being on Raw, Smackdown sometime soon as in the tag team division, should WWE still keep them. But, yeah, I mean, it was a great tag match. The Ford Villains remind me of an old William Regal from WCW days, the old WCW character. And they're going to be an interesting tag team to watch out for in the future as well. How they pan out, so to speak, and how they get used. Whether it would be on NXT or Raw or SmackDown. But it was, great tag match. And the Lucha Dragons are the number one team in the NXT tag team division at this moment in time. Baron Corbin destroyed Ty Dillinger. No better way to put it. He beat him in under a minute. Maybe 2 minutes. He just flat out destroyed him, and then Baron got into a little stare down match with Bull Dempsey after it, so I'm guessing there's going to be something going down between them two in the future, so look out for that. I mean, it'll be something. Now to one of the main events, one of the main talking points of the show. Hideo Itami and Finn Balor against the Ascension. Now, Hideo and Finn won the match. Great tag team match. The match, the crowd enjoyed it. 5-star matches all around. 5-star match all around. The crowd enjoyed it. They were chanting, "This is awesome." And it was an awesome tag team match. Awesome grudge tag team match. If you haven't seen it, go and find it. Go and watch the show. And go and watch the Ascension's face when Finn comes out in that paint. Prince Devitt comes out in that paint. He came out in his old, he went old school. Many of you guys know him on the indie circuit and everything. Before he came to WWE, he used to come out with paint, especially when he was the leader of the Bullet Club. He used to come out with this paint covering half of his body and his arms and everything. Well, he came out to it in this tag match, and I'm telling you right now, go and find it and just take a look at the Ascension's face, because it was absolutely priceless. They had this look on their face, was like, what the fuck? And in a way, when they did the backstage interview, Hideo had that same look on his face too. I mean, he was like, "Are you feeling okay, Finn? Seriously?" And it was just picture. They don't understand it, but trust me, they will. If you don't understand what he was doing and everything, believe you me, at some point you will. It was just epic. Hideo and Finn, the next NXT Tag Team Champions for me. The future NXT Tag Team Champions. Hell, future WWE Tag Team Champions, should they still be together. Them two are going to be NXT champion before long as well. So big things for Hideo and Finn. And the Ascension looks like they're already going up to the Raw and SmackDown, because they did a vignette on SmackDown of them. Somebody called them the poor man's Road Warriors on YouTube, which was fucking ridiculous, because they're looking out like Road Warriors. But big things for them too as well. If you want to see a good Divas match or a good women's match, like I said, go to NXT. Watch Charlotte and Sasha Banks. I mean, good friends make great enemies. Sums it all up, really, because these two used to be friends, now they're enemies. And this was a great women's match. This is what the standard of Divas division and the women's division. This is what the standards of this Divas division should be. These kind of matches. If you want to see a great women's match, a great Divas match, whatever the heck you want to call them, go and watch NXT's stuff, because that's where the ladies. You got ladies in there who can kick butt. Sasha Banks, Charlotte, who is the future of what is left of the Divas division, by the way, and it's just great stuff. The crowd loved it, and it really is just good stuff. I can't put it over. It was a 5-star match, and that's very rare saying, but you've got two girls in here who can kick butt, unlike some of the divas up in the Divas division. You got some of them who kick. These two here can kick butt, and I can't wait to see these two on Raw and SmackDown. Although, depending on the direction where WWE is booking concerned, like I said, shout out to Vicky Earls, they'll be best off staying in the NXT division. Women's division, if you ask me. But you know they're going to get called up at some point. I just hope they get used right. And for the main event, of course, Adrian Neville, Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn finally gets his due and wins the NXT Championship and is now the NXT Champion. Everybody came out after the match and congratulated him. And he deserves it as well. He had 5-star matches with the Cesaro building up, and he deserves his spot. He deserves to be the champion. Adrian Neville went out like a champion as well, although some questionable tactics on Adrian Neville's part. But hey, a great match. Like I said, go find it. 5-star match. Everybody came out and celebrated with him. And then the party, as NXT went off on the air, the party was cut short by one Kevin Owens, because Kevin Owens brutally sneak attacked him out of nowhere. Why, I don't know, but it seems that Sami Zayn's first defense of the NXT Championship is going to be Kevin Owens, because these two are going to get into a feud, from what it seems, and I guess one of ROH's best feuds is coming to NXT, so to speak. So that's one to look out for, guys. And if you haven't seen their ROH stuff, and Kevin Steen, El Generico, go and find it, because I don't know if that's coming to the NXT stuff, but you're going to get a good sample of what you're in store for if you watch NXT. Believe you me. Just 5 stars all around. 10 out of 10. I enjoyed it. And like I've always said, guys, NXT is where wrestling matters in WWE. If you want wrestling, watch NXT. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for this episode of the Wrestling Matters podcast. Tune in next time. Make sure you go and watch, if you're in the Middlesbrough area, Colby Newham. It's this Saturday. Colby Newham, Teenage Bram, former WWE superstar Mason Ryan, Val Cabius, and everybody's going to be at the Colby Newham Rainbow Leisure Centre as part of the EPW show. Tickets are £5 and £10 or whatever the heck prices there is. Just get yourself down there if you're in the area. It's a perfect way to start your Christmas, because 5 days later, it will be Christmas Day. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Anthony Walker. The H, the E, to the A, to the D. Yours truly. You've been a part of this revolution that is the Wrestling Matters podcast. I love you for it. And until next time, peace out.